Hello and welcome to Halton MakeFest. So these are the videos that are going out before the actual festival itself, the premieres. And today we are joined by Paul Quigley from Norton Priory.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Brilliant. And we've got quite a busy table set up in front of us. So could you tell me what exactly we are doing today?
Yeah, well, what we're going to do is make some food for bird feeders.
Okay.
If you watch the last video, we did a little willow bird feeder, and we're going to make some food to go in these little feeders. The recipe is actually called cheesy dough mix.
Okay.
So it's a bit like bake-off for birds, and we're going to add all our ingredients together. The advantage with this is you know what's gone in to the mix, so you know what's in there for the birds. And I use it when I'm doing the big garden bird watch in January. So I put these out for the birds to feed on. Normally when I do it at home, I make a big batch of it because you can actually freeze it. But today we're going to halve the recipe and have a go at making some. It's very messy, so be warned.
I've taken my watch up, I've rolled my sleeves up. What are in these bowls then?
So
what
we've
goes
got a
into
mix
it?
of stuff. The reason I like it is because you can use a lot of ingredients that you might already have in the house, and that for feeding birds. So we've got our cheese that's going to go in the mix. We've got some wholemeal flour, peanuts, some sunflower hearts, mealworms, which I always like
lovely,
adding.
lovely.
Yeah, and dried fruit. The dried fruit, you need to be careful with that because you need to soak it overnight to make sure that it's okay to use in the mix and that. And then it's going to be held together. We've got some lard and that. This is a really good high protein food for birds, particularly in winter. And if you're going to take part in the big garden bird watch, which is every January, the RSPB have, it's a citizen science project really, where you sit and you watch your garden for an hour and you mark down all the birds that you see.
I did it in Victoria Park. We had a little walk around and counted what we could find in there, yeah. It was very wet, that garden bird watch day. Very windy, not many birds.
but that's still good because it records the data that they need. If you don't see any birds, it's still worth actually doing the big garden bird watch. Yeah. Because it feeds into the national picture as well. And then sometimes the weather can be bad and that. I don't think the results are in for this year yet, but I have got the results for last year. So as we're doing it, I'll tell you which birds came in the top 10.
Perfect.
If that's okay.
I think I'll stand up for this because it's...
You might need to,
It's going to be quite messy,
Now, we've got a few different things to mix in and that. I've got a bowl that I use a lot for different things. If you're doing it at home and you haven't got a big bowl like this, a bucket is ideal because it will keep the mess in there. So we'll put the recipe on that. So I'm going to halve it. So we're going to have 250 grams of flour.
So is that what's already in my bowl over here?
That's already in your bowl there. So
Here's one you made earlier.
I've got yours ready. And what I find is it's better if you mix all the dry ingredients first before you add any of the water or the lard. So we're going to put that in our bowl. So there's our first bit. Right, next I normally add the cheese. And I've grated the cheese. So
this looks almost like it was already grated, Paul.
I can't say anything there. So I normally just add it, and it's a good few handfuls. Yeah. Don't worry too much about measuring that. You just need a good, and then mix it all in. We need a good. That's all you did. It was like bake-off.
Oh yeah.
And it's a good activity to do, and like I say, we'll add the rest of the cheese in.
Full cheesy. The birds are like me, they'll like some cheese.
So mix all that in.
Yep.
And like I say, the good thing about this is that you can shape it into like the fat balls. If you've got the bird feeders, which is like a log and there's holes drilled in,
Yeah.
you can push this into the holes as well.
Okay.
So the birds will come. Or I just stick it on a tree sometimes in like a crevice or that. So we've got our cheese in.
Yep.
I think what we'll do next, we'll add our fruit, which, like I say, we've soaked overnight. So it should be nice. Oh yeah, you can feel that.
Oh yeah, that's plenty sticky enough. Yep.
And it is a great family activity, this, because you can all get involved, adding the bits that you've got.
Perfect.
Then, normally I use crushed peanuts, but like I say, use what you've got.
Yeah.
Don't worry about thinking. Add a few of those peanuts in there.
So you do quite a lot of traditional crafts, don't you? So do you do other sort of foods for animals, or?
No, we've not tended to, but do you know what? I think we should look at that, because we work a lot with the local hedgehog rescue groups. So any hedgehogs that need to be released, we normally let them go in the walled garden. And I think we should have a look, see if there's a recipe for hedgehog food. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
So next, I think we'll add the mealworms.
Oh, lovely.
The dried mealworms. Yeah, lovely smell to them. And again, just mix them in. The birds will love them.
Yeah, the last time I've been with mealworms or using them is actually feeding lemurs, of all things.
Oh, right.
So they love them.
Mealworms are not really a good food for hedgehogs.
No?
No. So I wouldn't give them to hedgehogs. Right, so sunflower hearts, we'll add a few of them.
So what's the other one? Sunflower and?
We've got a seed mix as well, the other one.
Ah,
So
okay.
the other one is a general seed mix for like finches, sparrows, things like that. So we'll add a little bit of that as well. I don't think I'd make it as a chef, because I can never remember ingredients. I'd just make it up while I was doing it.
Well, I'm glad you're saying that, and it's not that I would eat it as I go along. So, yeah.
So they're all our dry ingredients in.
Perfect.
Make sure they're well mixed.
Good.
in the
Yep.
bowl.
Feels well mixed over here.
Right, now the messy bit.
Oh, lovely.
The messy bit is the lard.
The lard.
So what I tend to do, there should be a knife and a little, I put a little piece of wood as a chopping board.
Oh, this is what that's for. Okay.
And if you can, cut it up into small pieces, really. So get rid of that.
Ooh, lovely. It's already sticking to the floury hands.
Yeah, yeah. Make sure when you do it, you've got something to wipe your hands with.
Perfect. And so last time I saw you, Paul, was actually at the Bounce weekend, at the Cultivate Bounce weekend.
Yeah,
and
just before Christmas.
Yeah, you were doing some clay crafts, weren't you?
We were having a go at making some tiles, because Norton Priory has got an amazing collection of medieval tiles.
Yeah.
So we had people in the groups making tiles, and then we made some little pinch bowls as well.
Yes, the little pinch pots, were they?
Pinch pots, yeah.
Yeah.
And they worked really well. So I was in this weekend, and someone actually turned up to collect theirs.
Oh, good.
And they were so pleased with them.
Yeah, they were nice. It was a really nice little family activity, wasn't it?
It was.
Some people were so good. There's a really young girl, and I think, she was really young, and she did some amazing artwork with her dad. Yeah. So how small do these need to be, Paul?
Again.
Let's see, what's your cube size?
Mine are small.
Really small, right? Cut all these in half.
Yeah, if you don't do them, there's one I made last night, and that's not a very good example, because you can still see the fat there.
Right,
so
okay.
The smaller they are, the better, really.
Got you.
To go in. And we'll add all them. So last year, the Garden Bird Watch, the top 10 birds.
Yeah.
Number 10, I've always wanted to do this. Number 10
go on.
is
that
the
top of the
long-tailed
pops?
tit, which is a lovely little bird. They're like lollipops. They're small with a long tail, and they were down. They were number 9 the year before.
Right. Okay.
So they're one of the first birds to start nest building. So they should be in the process now.
Okay.
And then number 9 was magpie.
Saw quite a few of them. Yeah.
See, I didn't see any magpies on mine.
See, I don't know if it was the weather that deterred, but mainly had gulls and magpies.
Oh, brilliant. Number 8 was goldfinch, and they were down 2 places from the year before. Now, I sometimes get them in our garden at home.
I sometimes get them in mine, yeah.
Number 7 was great tit, and they didn't move. They were number 7 the year before. And again, you'll probably, most gardens I think would get the great tit visiting. Right.
I'm ready. I'm fascinated by the top of the pops of birds over here.
I'd be no good in a restaurant because you'd be waiting for your food. You'd be like, my God, what's he up to? I think it's trying to multitask. I can't read.
Yeah, I've got them half down and then I'm tearing it apart with my hands instead.
Yeah. Number 6 was the robin, which I think most people could identify in that.
Oh, yeah, I think that's one of the more popular ones.
Yeah. And number 5, wood pigeon.
Yep.
And I think I have wood pigeon at home.
Distinctive noise as well, so you can hear when they're around.
You can.
Yeah.
Number 4, blackbird.
Yeah.
Which was up 1 place from the year before.
Occasionally get a couple of those, yeah.
See, I never get number 3.
Yeah.
I've not had starling.
My garden, that's constantly starlings, full of them.
Is it?
Yeah.
See, I'd love that.
Yeah, so I've got quite a few bird tables out and hanging off the centre of the washing line so the cats can't get to it.
Yeah, brilliant.
Full of starlings constantly.
And number 2 was blue tit. Again, a common bird.
Yeah, get the odd one of them, yeah.
And then number 1, I think it never moved. It was the same the year before, which is house sparrow.
I don't see them.
See, their numbers are fluctuating a lot over the last few years.
Yeah.
I think there's research going on, but I think there's multiple reasons for that as well.
Right.
Yes,
I
heard
a lot of people saying from around here that they see a lot of house sparrows, but I just don't see them where I am. So, yeah.
Yeah, we used to have them at the Priory, but you don't see them anymore. And we did have, when I first started, we did have tree sparrow, which is like the country version of the urban house sparrow. But again, we haven't seen them for years. Now your mix, we might need a little bit more fat in it. It should be coming together.
It's starting, yeah.
So you should end up with like a dough. But what we can do, although this is where, when I've done it with groups, it's got a little bit messy. You can add a little bit of water, and I've put a bit of water there. So I normally do a tiny bit because...
You all seem to be a lot cleaner than I am.
I've done this a few times and not checked when I've said to the kids, add a bit of water. Yeah. And when you look, you're just looking at a
reservoir.
So we should start getting... Oh, yeah, look at that. That's...
Yours is definitely coming together, yep.
We might add a little bit more water on there.
I might probably need more water. I'm being so careful and treating it like at home. And it's just add a drop of water and then your cake mix gets too thin. So I'm starting to get there, Andy. I am.
It's just a little bit at a time.
Just a little bit. Is that enough? Do you reckon? Yeah? Cool. And then, see, I think the first time I actually met you, Paul, you were doing a photography exhibition at the studio.
Oh, yeah, that was...
just before lockdown, wasn't it? You were like the last exhibition or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do quite a lot of nature photography, from what I could see.
I do, but I'm lucky because of where I work. it gives you the chance to actually focus. You've got the opportunity to photograph a lot of things. And then sometimes, like everything, isn't it, things just turn up. So we had, there was a bit of a kerfuffle in the garden at home, and I thought it was a neighbour's cat.
Right.
And when I looked out, it wasn't, it was a stoat. And the stoat was having an argument with the crow. And the reason they were having an argument is the stoat had just caught a baby rat and killed it.
This sounds like a nursery rhyme at this point.
Yeah, and I just managed to get the camera as the crow disappeared with the rat, and then the stoat disappeared, and I thought I've missed an opportunity, and then it reappeared.
Yeah.
With another baby rat, so it must have found a nest somewhere. And I got some really good photographs because I see them now and again, but not that often. So sometimes you're just in the right place, aren't you?
Yeah.
At the right time. So yeah, it's starting to get a bit more messy.
I can admit I am flinging cheese everywhere right now.
And what I tend to do as well, when I've got a lot of it, I don't make it into sort of like a big tennis ball and roll it into a long length.
Okay.
Wrap it in cling film and then freeze it.
Are you doing multiple balls over there?
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
Now stop doing that then. I'm trying to make one giant football over here.
It's up to you, the mate.
I was like, how is he getting this to all stick together as one ball? That's why I'm making mess and you're not.
You can see it's...
So I'm interested, what other sort of crafts do you do?
Hopefully, now we're back to being open.
Yeah.
We've done quite a lot. We've done different sorts of willow weaving, from garden structures to basket making.
Yeah.
And we bring people in, so we've had... Willow weaving can be a little bit hard on the hands after a while. So we had a lady in who was weaving and making baskets out of rush.
Okay.
And that because it's wet and soft, it's a lot easier on your hands. And she made some lovely little baskets. We've done stained glass window, or stained glass work. We didn't do a whole window. Yeah, so there's quite a few different traditional skills that hopefully we've done beekeeping.
Yes.
Because we've got bees on site.
I think so far I can't see any clumps of lard, so...
No, I think... Well, I have there.
Oh, get in there.
I should have mixed that in a bit.
I think I'm going to end up with 4.
Do you know what? I always think that this is going to end up on... Someone will make this on MasterChef and they'll call it something ridiculous.
What, for human consumption?
For human consumption. Oh. And it'll be like... And charge you a fortune for it.
Yeah.
So that's half the recipe that I normally use. So you can see it makes a lot of cheesy dough.
Yeah.
But if you do the full recipe with you'll get enough to last you quite a while. So to freeze it and then use it when you need it. But it's high protein food for winter, so the birds will love that. But you end up...
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I have destroyed.
But it is good. It's a good, like I say, a good family activity.
Very messy.
Maybe I should do these a bit smaller. People get the idea. You don't have to.
Oh, it's really getting in there. Just add a little bit more water to the bottom and now scooping up all that last mucky bit.
Look at that. So you can do them the same size as the ones you buy.
I've got one slightly soggier one to the end. Just going to roll it over the bottom and try and get some dry.
It'll dry out. But like I say, obviously if you're going to do it at home, just make sure you've covered everything, because you'll end up with it. You'll end up with it everywhere.
Oh.
And that's the advantage. You can shape it, put it into any shape you want, really.
So I've got to ask, because I know you've been at a face at Norton Priory for quite some time. How long have you actually been there?
An awful long time. 30 years. So I started on a part-time temporary contract I started in April and I was going to finish in October, and I'm still there. So that's a long.
You managed to hold on there quite well.
Yeah. So it's been good. It's been good.
Excellent.
And there we have our cheesy dough.
You've got a cheesy hand as well. Yeah. Just like completely caked.
Yeah, it is. But you can see, I think the biggest group I've done it with is 36 children, so it was chaos.
And I like to think I'm a little bit tidier as well.
I think we've been very tidy compared to them, but they enjoyed it, and that's part of the thing. It's not just about making the food for the birds, it's about enjoying it as well. Yeah. Because if you enjoy it, you'll do it again, the birds will get more food. So that's the good thing about it.
I think I've got my 4 fat balls done, and the rest are just on my hands now. So there you go, if you want to get a nice close shot there. Lovely jubbly. Scrape some of that off.
So have a go at making some cheesy dough.
Cheesy dough. And so you said we'll pop your recipe on the MakeFest website.
Yeah, I can't take credit for the recipe. There's a Facebook group called Gardening for Wildlife. Okay. And there's lots of other hints for helping wildlife on that Facebook group. If anyone's on social media, and the recipes are from there. There's also a peanut butter one they've got on there, which I was going to do, but it's even messier than this. So
I don't think the studio here could cope with that.
Yeah, I think it would have been too much.
And for people who haven't tuned in yet and seen what you created earlier, I've done another video with you creating these, which is what the fat ball's going to go into.
Yep, that's our little willow feeders. And what I'll do, I know for the open day, I'll bring information along about these as well.
Yeah, so that's our MakeFest event, which is on the Saturday the 26th of March. So you're going to be there doing your thing.
Yeah, and I'll bring some information about. So
perfect.
Yeah, I'll bring the recipe and a few other things for people to. But we'll do something on pollinators then. Okay,
brilliant. So I think then we've completed our fat balls. We've made a lovely mess here. So I think I need to go and clean up anyway. So I'll put some links up on here if you want to get some tickets to MakeFest. One of the editors now will pop it on the screen for you. And they are free. You can get them via our website or on Eventbrite. It'll be all over our socials. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Bye for now.